Well, at Motown, I'll come back to that when you ask me some questions about writing and my career, but at Motown, one of the things that made Motown as successful as it is and was, more like it was, but they had a quality control meeting they had every Friday. Quality control meant that as a writer at Motown, you wrote a song every day, completed.
What does that look like? I mean, is it like in the 20s in a Hollywood studio and the studio boss would walk around the premises and
No, you did that at home. You did it at home, and then they had what they called the workroom. The workroom was like 6 different rooms that had paper-thin walls. Mm-hmm. You heard Holland, Richard Holland, Stevie, Norman Whitfield, Ivy Johanna. Everybody was at their acts. As I say, the wonderful thing about it was you learned how to concentrate on what you were doing.
Is that the original building opposite
yes,
of the
that's the original building.
Of the hospital?
Yes, and right next door to the mortuary. We used to make jokes about that as well.
Which jokes?
However,
what's the classic Motown mortuary joke?
It's in the stiffs over there, meaning the songs. You know, many songs that didn't really make it. You know, we had a place for it. Give it a headstorm right away quick. However, the quality control meant you came in with your finished songs, and you had a team of people that screened your songs. You should. I should as well. They screened your songs, and they told you whether your song was one that lived or was one that was ready for next door. And it was vicious because you were pitted against, which was Motown's, I think, its strength, is that they pitted everybody that was there against each other. So at the end of the week, you had 10 to 15 writers that were excessively talented, coming up with their best work. And as I said to people, I said to you all, you didn't think twice about that meeting. You either came in ready or you didn't come in at all. And in that process of doing talent shows throughout Detroit, which Detroit was very big with 2 things, crime and music. Fortunately, I left the crime alone at the time, in time to not really suffer, but that was a part of my life as well, unfortunately. Being a young kid in Detroit, you didn't have any options. However, the strength of the talent in Detroit at the time, and the concentration of just music itself was so rich. You had Aretha, Smokey, Holland, I mean, just all these people that all they spent their day and night doing was music. And again, the premise wasn't about being stars. We all just basically loved what we were doing. I come from a kid that went to church every day until I was 12 years old, because my mother was a bit of a minister herself, not Jehovah's Witness, but a Baptist, and I sung in the choir, and I was a church kid, so to speak. But the interesting thing is that Detroit it birthed some, well, needless to say, some Hall of Famers, people that you've listened to and that will be, remembered for as long as music's music.
But then again, Motown was not only about great talent, but also about fabricating products as well. But great quality products, but nevertheless.
Yes. Well, Motown itself, as I say, it was like a factory. You had Berry Gordy was the genius that I would say that he is as a person was he had an innate eye for talent, and he also knew the smartest thing you can know about any talented person: leave him alone.
But that took him a bit to figure out as well.
Leave him alone. But see, he had his way of guiding you. His way of guiding was putting you next to somebody else who was maybe just as bad as you. Good guidance, right?
But probably to talk about the actual working process, the scenario that you pictured there, it almost sounds like battle rap. You got But it's a battle rap scenario which is all about being master seductresses and seductors. And I mean, when you got this scenario with the 5 rooms and you got Stevie and who not just riding next to each other and trying to come up in this highly competitive atmosphere with the most highly seducing kind of things. I mean, what does the day feel like? What does everyone have for breakfast?
There's so much energy there. There's so much you can come away with. But for the most part, the sensuality factor was more religious than sensual then, as I said, because I didn't really realize how much of a freak I was until I was like early 30s, you know. Unfortunately, or let's say fortunately, I understand now clearly what freak means. It's free with a K on it.